Hey guys, my name is Sediak and welcome back to another episode of Woodville here in City Skylines 2, where last episode we did some huge improvements. We've now managed to expand the big city that we're going to be creating over these next few episodes, and we've really now started to add a lot more detail to the areas. It's enabled me to grow the population, but with doing so also brings its own set of problems. Our very own train line is working absolutely beautifully right now, but like I said, problems are now starting to appear because we now are putting more demand on our services. So hopefully today we can take care of all of that. We're going to also try and make a profit. I got some tricks up my sleeve that we're going to be implementing. But a lot of you guys really like the way that I'm kind of now doing this. We kind of zoning individual buildings. We're placing down trees, making it look really nice. It's starting to slowly come together. Now, in today's episode, we got a lot of expansion that we need to do. We are going to sort out some of the parking issues that we've got along this area. It's only going to get more and more built up, so we do need to take care of it. We also need to try and cover the deficit that we are losing money on. We are kind of slowly breaking even, but there is a type of demand that I'm yet to build, and you're probably wondering what that is. And a lot of you guys were kind of screaming at me in the comment section to kind of implement it in the last episode, so don't worry, boys. We're going to start adding in some offices. Now, depending on what the traffic situation does, I know this is the initial traffic moving in, but I think we need to start thinking about, well, one, enable building this connection here. That is a must, so I have to kind of change the train line leading over. And is it time that I build the bypassing road over to this roundabout? I think it might be. So, before we get into it, there's actually two questions I need to ask you guys right now. I need some names for two districts. If I split this down the middle, let's say I split it here. I'm going to make it follow the train tracks because, you know, that's all it really matters about at the minute. I need two name suggestions for these districts here. And what these districts are is I'm splitting the city. So we got the district there, which is mainly low residential, low commercial, all that jazz. And while this district here is going to contain some low density residential, this is the district that contains all the high density in the downtown area. There's going to be a lot more craziness going on over in this side. Now, I don't know whether I'm sticking to the road or going all the way to where eventually we're going to have the park edge. I'm not too sure. I might just rejig the other one in just a minute. Let me bring this to about there. Bam, 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 bam. Let me move this down. So get rid of all of this real quick. Where are we going to here? Right, let me quickly just rejig all of this. I didn't kind of plan this out very well, did I? Right, bring you there. There. And do you know what? We'll just go to there and kill it all off. So we are covering the train line. I have these two, which we've got, which is interesting. We've got Evergreen Crossing, which is hilarious because we do have train tracks, kind of. We cross over the train tracks, kind of. Evergreen, you know, evergreen trees, you know what I mean? You've got Meadow Crest. Okay, maybe that one is not really wood related, but you get the gist of it. I need two name suggestions for this. Now, what I would maybe recommend is we rename them the same, but we have a variation. Like, for example, North, whatever it is, South, whatever it is, or whatever it is, downtown, whatever you guys pick. You know what I mean? So give me some name suggestions for these two in the comment section down below. But anyway, welcome back to the episode, guys. If you are enjoying this series, please make sure you smash the like button down below. Subscribe if you are new so you get notified when more episodes do come out. And leave a comment saying thank you for playing some more and we'll do just that. Now, I'm going to delete all this because what I'm going to do is create a junction that connects. Now, I'm not particularly happy with the junction that we currently have. Also, I'm thinking about, I'm going to stick a roundabout, obviously, but I'm thinking about just kind of swooping it, having a better swoop, and then connect it all up. So let me just kind of quickly see what this would look like with just the simpleness that we can implement. So this is getting it as simple as I could potentially get it right now. So that's a 194. And if I went for a 194 as well, see, I'm going to have to delete this back a little bit further. This is going for the full shebang. Okay, the full shebang right now. So, what was it? A 19-ish 4. Okay, it's a 192. I might have selected it a little bit further back than the previous one. I can't even see. Right, hold on. Let me get this just right. I can't even see if I'm snapping correctly here. Right, there we go. 192. And then we'll go up to a... Where is it? I've gone too far there. 192. I can't even tell now if I'm dead smack bang in the middle. So I'm going to have to kind of assume that I am with my 90-degree bend. And then this should allow me to just run completely straight. And I don't think I'm fully aligned up, am I? No, there we go. No, it works. It works. Okay, good stuff. Good stuff. So I want to get this more situated correctly. So I'm going to bend this a bit more. And I reckon what I do is I pick coming off the center of it. I mean, I'm not going to get it perfect. But let's say I came off it there. Right, it's a better way in which I can situate a roundabout on that junction. And then what we do is we bend it down. We'll go a little bit straight. We'll bend it. We'll bend it. And we connect in. So we kind of come out. So we get a little bit over here we can work with. A little bit in here. And then it leads us into this area. Right, not amazing, but it's a traffic calming measure. Is the best way to put it. We'll stick a nice, decent-sized roundabout on, and then I'm going to change the approach to all of this on either side so we can kind of bulk up the roundabout into 2 lanes. So we're going to have our... I'm going to make sure this is all correct. Yeah. Dedicated right turn straight on, and am I able to get the same over on this side? So dedicated right turn and straight on. Nice! And then do the same here. Dedicated right turn and straight on. Would that make much sense for us? And leading back a little bit. And that should do. So it splits into the left there to make your left turn. So just alleviates a little bit of pressure right there, hopefully. And then we're going to get the train line to come up and over and connect in. Now, it does need connections. Let me quickly sort this out. And then we can call that a day. And then we can actually then go back to building our beautiful office area that we're going to be implementing shortly. Right, so if I bring this up to a 5 first, let me kind of make this go in a straight line. So to a 5, then I'm going to go to a 7. Oh, actually, should I stay about a 5? I think a 5 might be okay. And I've got to try and find where this bend is going to work. So if I kept it straight to there... And a bend there is 128. See, this is the problem as well. No, okay, right, it's not high enough. I was about to say, the bend also kind of has to slightly come down. So what about if I just stick to like a 7.5? 7.5 should be pretty good, right? If I go to there... it's got the walls, which I don't want. You can actually get rid of the walls, right? If I key wall, retaining wall, how do I get rid of the walls? I'm sure there's a way to kind of get rid of it. Just elevate it, right? Yeah. Just elevated, Sonny. Oh my goodness me, I've lost my mind. Okay, let's continue this. I'm just going to bring it to just there. To which then I should be able to get a 96... 96. See, we're going to have to drop that down as well. It might be better to build it this way. So, if I'm looking at kind of turning this around, we might need to situate it where it's elevating directly straight away. So, that will be a 5 off the bat, right there. And then the bend here, which is a 67... Ooh. Ooh, okay. 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 So it might be better if I delete back a bit. I either make the bend wider. So that's a 78 by... And obviously bring it up. 80's fine. 7.5 we're up to. Which will allow me to run straight. It's a sharp turn, but it still does what I need it to do. More importantly than anything else. Right, this no longer has power. What happened to the power? Oh, yeah, because we upgraded all of this. So, let's get the lights on the road. So, straight through to there. Is that enough to give it power? It is, but it's not coming from the place I really wanted it to, but it's fine. It's fine, guys. It's fine. So that covers one of the big issues that we're going to have in general, is only having this one turning point there, which does cause absolute chaos with vehicles trying to get in and out. Now, the argument could now be it's time for us to bulk up this road, right? Having a complete bypass coming down is great to access this area, but they're still funneling out in the one direction. So having this bypass will be a huge change right now, but this itself could cause some issues. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to delete you. And I'm going to do it not with a highway road yet, okay? The key word is yet. I'm going to upgrade all of that there. And can I make it go into a tunnel here? So if I go down by a 10... And I'm wondering if maybe anarchy is the way to go about. So trying to snap this directly. Has that gone down and in now? Yes. So the reason I'm doing it as a tunnel, the reason I'm not doing it as a highway is because there's a speed limit difference. And the highway would force everybody to utilize this. But the more I think about it, the more I'm like, why am I doing it like that? Because at the end of the day, I need the infrastructure. So I might as well just go for the full highway. I feel like I'm worried that it's going to take over and be the main route, which is not a problem, providing that I make sure that we are doing everything we can adequately for the connection. Now, I don't really need it to stick out as far as it is, so I'm wondering if it's just best to directly come off it into a tunnel. It might be the better option. So I'm going to go down by 20. So let's say I went, for example, there. Okay? Bring it out. Hopefully it's enough to kind of go underground. Let's just fully upgrade all of this. We might as well just do it, right? Might as well just get it done. So we're going to have to anarchy it. And that is the upgrade there. Upgrade there. Upgrade there. Upgrade there. And obviously upgrade. Actually, we'll delete this. We'll delete all of you. Pushing you back. I'll have to fine-tune all of this kind of woodland area. And obviously, that's no longer touching an actual road. It's touching a highway road. Actually, I might not put this to highway road. Because it does run through an industrial area. I might just kind of help these guys out. And just kind of be a bit nicer towards them. Yeah. And then, where's that connected? That's connected to that road, isn't it? Yeah, I can do a highway road coming off that. That's where I feel like it works the most. Right, coming off this then. We'll go down by a minus 20. And then where does this run? So, keeping this in as straight of a line as I can. We don't see it on the waterway, so that's good. And then the bend's going to have to take place around here. So if I delete you and then get this road situated pretty nice. So out there, 115. There we go. And directly in. So without doing anything, I've created the world's greatest shortcut, okay? I'm probably going to regret that. I probably will end up regretting this, but the plan is to alleviate the traffic coming out. Now, this road obviously needs to be a bit bulkier. We kind of need like a 4-lane on this. So if I was to upgrade this to a 4-lane, so let's get rid of the anarchy. Actually, we might still need the anarchy. I'm not too sure. But 4-lane, we'll need the anarchy here. So upgrade 4-lane, 4 lane there. That's not 4 lane, is it? No, this is 4 lane. So it will kind of create a bit of a bulkier roundabout, but I don't think the roundabout is as bulky as we would assume it would. But you get the oh, snap. I don't like what it's done here now. Right. Elevate all of that. There we go. It gives us a dedicated turn lane. So we should have the ability for them to both turn onto this section. But they're now all going to want to go that way because that is now probably considered the shorter route. So it might be we just see how things go and then decide if that was the right thing to do or not. Right, do we have the power now coming back? Yeah, there we go. There we go, boys. There we go. So that could be the issue, is that they're then going to be all forced to take this route, which is the negative side of it all. Yeah, it's the real pain. But that's where we really need to take advantage of public transport more than anything else. So let me have a little bit of a fast forward then. See what we can kind of get done. It would help enabling them to have multiple roads leading down here, but I want to see how the traffic first flows through. So is it possible to just kind of initially get past the backlog, or is this underground tunnel situation here not a good idea because inevitably they hit here? I don't think this tunnel's the best idea, if I'm being completely honest with you. Now, if I was to, for example, kill the tunnel off, right, because it's not a great idea. Let me kill it off randomly there, and then see how to then react to going back to this system. Now I've kind of bulked up the road. I think we might need to think about bulking up the on and off ramps, if that's what you want to call them. So if I turn these here into, let me get rid of the elevated section. Like to that, it will give us the ability now to allow 2 vehicles to exit. They would then just have to filter on. Can be a bit of a pain. Can be a bit of a pain right now, but that should clear it out, which would also then mean these guys down here are more likely to then enter onto this. So if you just give it a little bit of time, granted it puts all the stress elsewhere, which is then why we maybe look towards bulking you up. Eventually, we'll probably have to turn that into a whole 4-lane road, but let me just do my slippy slip slips. You get dedicated left and rights and straight ons are all pretty much the same. Everyone can navigate to where they need to get to. But this will make us put more emphasis on public transportation, as there's then going to be more of a reason I need to make sure that I'm controlling things. So we've cleared it all here. It's now just there. I'm just going to make sure that it all does go. And it will eventually go, but I'm thinking that might be the wrong thing to do. Okay? I feel like it's the wrong thing to do because it's only going to put massive traffic pressures on me. So I think we've tried it, and I don't think it's the right thing to do. So I'm going to cancel that project, which means, boys, we can then go back to normal. We can connect you up, and oh, how am I going to do this right now? Because, all right, if I come off there and then run that just to there. Ooh, I might have to like do this without snapping. And put the snap back on. And then delete you. So at least we then kind of can continue the zoning methods and whatnot. We'll see what happens. But I don't know. It's a weird one, isn't it? It is going to be a weird one right now. But again, if we can take and make sure that we take advantage of public transport, we shouldn't have these issues in the long run. And try and deteriorate people from taking vehicles and try and make public transportation the better option. So we'll come back to those issues at a later date. We'll just kind of see what happens. That traffic issue will then eventually die down. But when they all come home, we might see the traffic issues arise again. But it's not a big issue as of yet. Let's take a look at some offices. Now, I might turn this little area down here into some offices, maybe to begin with. I might kind of put some in the middle. Maybe around the major traffic areas would be a good idea. I think so. Let's see. I think I think we'll do some over here then to begin with. Now, when it comes to offices, I don't want the big boy ones. I know we can get the Southwest style ones, which is interesting. I know we can eventually get high density, but I don't want to roll down that road as of yet. And I don't want to have any roads connect to this. So we're going to treat it as a little bit of a dead end. So I'm going to kind of mishmash between the two style of roads that we are working with. There we go. And then what I'll do is I'll have this road here just kind of naturally come to an end like this. So nothing major. I might actually delete this one and change this one up. Where is it? There it is. And bring this to about there. Let me just turn off the bends now. Run you straight up. So bring you to about there. And then we're going to kick out about here. And I don't know if I like the little bend it kind of tries to implement there. I'll run this just down to there. And maybe extend this a little bit further. And then because we want to kind of like end it in a way, I'll come off there to make a 90 degree. And just there as well. So it creates a little industry park there. We'll put some trees around it. It will look fairly nice. So we're going to go with these Southwest Zone builders. Now, I've never seen these before, so I don't know how big they're ultimately going to go. So if I just go for like a 3x2, that's chose to build a 2x2. So will it go for another 3x2? Is that all the demand I'm going to get from those? What, they built one building, that was it? Oh, no. I think the road's on this side, isn't it? Yes. So if I go like that way, we can get a little bit wider there. So now I'm understanding how they look. It's 2x2s that we're kind of looking at right now. But we got a big space here to play with, so I might delete you. And instead go for a big boy there. Oh no, they're still going to go for the small one. So these aren't as big as you think they are. They're not going to be as big as you think they are. So where is that now going to be building? That's going to go there. That's got a big boy there. And I'm just playing around with some ideas to begin with. Just throwing something down and seeing what sticks. So a couple of different variations here. So I'm not going to get loads in. You're going to get a couple in is what we're going to do. We're going to get a couple in there. And that will hopefully provide some jobs. So these kind of provide a couple of jobs. I won't say a vast, large amount. But it should be enough right now where it starts generating us some revenue to which we're able to turn a profit with. Which, by the looks of it, it's kind of slowly happening. So if I go for the big boy oak trees, we're going to go for anarchy. Go to, singular tree, sorry. And big boy fully grown. I want to get some car parks down first. That's actually important. And motorcycle. Do I feel got the covered canopy? Oh, it's a bit too much to squeeze. Oh, that. Oh, it's a little bit too long to squeeze there, isn't it? But I definitely could get something in here. Maybe I put in something larger there. That's what we kind of throw in this side. Parking fee, we do 12 big ones. And this is where we then place the trees down. So just in the areas I know we're not getting any other zoning as of yet. There we go, there we go. I don't want to do anything going around here. Oh, big town, nice. So I will choose to go a little bit crazier. Is there no zone I can get there? Damn, that's a shame, isn't it? Unless I stick a road just at the back. Oh, no. Okay. Right. I'm going to try and trick the game. Do I have the demand to put something in here? Right, I do. So if I delete this, I can then go back to placing down some glorious trees. Right, so you get like a little bit of a tech park area. Nothing too much, but it just kind of complements right on the end. Okay, very good, very good, very good. So traffic then. Has the traffic now gone? Is it still building up in these junctions? No is the answer. No, but we really need to look at how we can kind of solve these traffic issues moving forward. So are we now in profit? We're in vast amounts of profit right now. We've never had so much hourly profit. And I wouldn't say it's from the taxation of the offices slowly coming in. It's nothing to do with that. It's not enough. I think it's just gradually the zoning's all kicking in. So would you argue right now I'm able to think about placing in the services for the big city area? I think we're now able to, but I also want to be able to place in some more offices anyway. I'm going to go for a big 3 there. And there. And I think that's as much as we're going to do with these offices. And we'll just finalize all that off there with the trees. Nice. Absolutely glorious. Right. Okay, that's perfect. So I know we have a lot of vehicle parking, and these 4-lane roads won't be in demand as we expect they will be. So these are a good idea, maybe to look at implementing the parking either side. Now, if I was to upgrade them, I don't lose... Where is it gone? There it is. I don't lose any buildings, right? It is actually slightly a little bit wider than normal. So I will lose some zoning. You can't do like a 2... Oh, no, you can. That's what I wanted, wasn't it? So I've got perpendicular parking. I've also got the diagonal angled one. So we got 2-lane divided. What's divided? Oh, he puts a divider in the middle. Ooh, okay, so that is an angled... Oh, it's parking alleys. No, we'll keep it... Well, I like the angled one. So if I drop these in instead, I'm forcing people to park there as opposed to on the side of the road, which does then kind of give us more parking. And it completely changes up this whole area. So I think we'll just go for that because it is like a downtowny vibe. But more parking is required. Don't get it twisted. We do need more parking. So we could do an underground car park, which is not a bad idea. How many parking spots do they kind of give us? I'm actually not too sure, but maybe underground parking near the train station could be quite a big hit. Is there anything here? There is some buildings just there. Well, if I get it just on like this bend section here, so if I was to implement parking there... Oh, that's not underground parking. It's a parking building. It provides 42 spots. You know what? Actually, it's not too bad. And then what we could squeeze in down the side is a nice walkable area, just like that, to give us the ability to get to where they need to get to. But it still doesn't solve any of this. You can tell the roads that you can't park there, basically. And what you do there is you just drop down some trees. So I don't mind these trees. Do it on this side as well. You can change the type of trees. You can change them. I could go for like, let me go vegetation. Like they're way too big, them trees. So linden trees. What other trees do we have around here? We've got alders. Oh, what are these here? London Plain. What would they look like? Where are they? London Plain. Is this the tree that I didn't know anything about? Oh no, it's here. It's here. Ooh. So if I chose these instead, it's a bit more bulky. I don't know how I feel about that. And you can only make them go so far. I like the idea of maybe having them around on the edge. So that does then force people to not have the ability to park on these roads. And it then pushes them into parking on different streets, or in particularly the car parks around the buildings. But there's not adequate amount of parking in this area in general. I'm not sure how I feel about the trees and stuff. So where's the underground parking? Oh, that's the building I'm thinking of, and I haven't unlocked it. There is a multi-story car park we could maybe squeeze in. Now that could fit in here actually pretty well. So if I was to, like, for example, throw it in, and let's say I put it there. It's a decent-sized building, but it will be surrounded by high-sized buildings anyway. Or would it make sense to maybe go over here? No, it won't squeeze in there. And it won't squeeze in there. It could squeeze in here. But that kind of gets rid of what we're trying to accomplish in general. So 12... because I'm scamming on the parking. And then we'll see as time goes on what that does. But we've got a big parking block nearby. All this is zoned commercial anyway. So eventually it will all get built upon. But I think, yeah, trees are maybe the right way to go in some areas. But I'm not particularly sold on that opinion. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Right, we've built our junction, we've added in some offices, and we are now officially turning a profit. It's actually quite a decent profit at the same time. Let's look towards then. Oh, we've got traffic over here. We kind of do. I think it might be a better idea to bulk up these roads now leading in. So, can you do a 4-lane road on these, or is that just not possible? I don't think they're going to be possible. I think it might be an idea to make the 4-lane kind of tick along a little bit further. So we can get them in their lanes a little bit earlier. But yeah, it's going to be an issue at some point, this is. So I'm going to move this over a bit more. Move you over a bit more. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Let me undo that. There we go. That's now been passed over. But yeah, you can kind of see where these issues are going to be kind of kicking in. I need to sort out public transport. I really do. That's what we're going to focus on next episode. So I'm just going to let it be as it needs to be. I'm going to let it do what it needs to do. And we'll solve the public transport issues in the next episode. So let me first then, because we got some surplus cash right now, let's sort out some of the services. So we'll start with hospitals. That's going to be a big one first. Now, do I need to unlock some additional stuff? Let me go healthcare. We can unlock an actual hospital. That would be pretty good. Which that should then give us all the different variants of these hospitals. I can go New York style hospital. That's a way too big of a taller building. So in terms of it, get rid of the clinics. We got the European one, too big. The Japan one, kind of okay. The China one, the French one, okay, not feeling that. The normal in-game hospital is probably not the best one. That also feels way too big. The Southwest, oh my goodness me, that one, the Southwest one. As big as it looks, it kind of fits the vibe we're going for, but I think it might be a little bit too big for what we're trying to accomplish here. But it would fit the vibe. It really would. So, the Eastern European one, no. The Japan one might be the way to go forward with it. It gives us 500 capacity. It's not that bad, not too shabby. And I could squeeze it in here. So if I dropped it there, for example, it is quite an expensive building. But that should do us justice, to be honest with you. It does have an upgrade to add an additional floor on, which I'm going to go for it. Okay, I'm going to go for that additional floor. And it should break up the landscape. So as we get the taller buildings here as well, it should break it up, have a bit of a gap, a bit of a breathing space within the skyline to kind of tick along. So that's all waiting for ambulances. So that should take care of this area and this side of it a little bit better. Now, in the meantime then, we do have the high density and high demand kicking in. So let's start to fill these little nooks and crannies, these little gaps up a bit more. So the alleyways, we're going to come off you. I'm going to move it down there. And then diagonal it there. So just playing around with some designs again. We want the low rent house in. And squeeze a couple of these bad boys in. And you go there. So what comes off that then, having that little kind of corner section? If I fast forward. Are they using this car park, by the way? Yeah. Oh, 220 vehicles can park in there. That's pretty good. I am seeing a lot of people walking. They're all walking to the train station. So some people are using the train station as their main form of, you know, transportation. Right, let's get all the trees in now. Because I'm starting to see the buildings being built. The gaps appearing. Which is what we like. And that's meant to be commercial here, by the way. So I'll go quite big on the commercial there and see what gets... Well, I've got no demand, so I have to kind of wait for that. But all the little gaps are now fitting in. That's exactly what we want. Exactly what we want right now. That's what we pretty much after. So, how many trains do we have on this line? I think we only have one train, right? Yeah. This station is housing at the minute 38 passengers, but... Oh, a load of people just got off. Do you reckon we need to add like an additional train just to kind of increase the frequency and people kind of coming in and out? So if I fast forward now to get that next train leaving, we'll have double the rate of trains coming and going then at this point. Which should be absolutely huge for us. So let them do what they've got to do. That's all going to be commercial, right? I've got to wait for that commercial demand to grow. So I'm officially making profit, which is the important part of all of this. Right, we're going to do an alley-style road here. And then what we're going to do here is we're going to kind of build up a bit more. So I'm going to go to there and just do some designs. Just going to do a couple of random designs. Just to kind of play around with it first. And we'll run down here. And I reckon there to there. We'll have a couple of the rows just kind of like stick out randomly. That's how it all kind of stops and starts. And that's what you get from this area, which allows me then to kind of build these buildings, all different angles and sizes. I like it. I do like it. So, some of this we could pretty much just fill. Fill the bits that make sense first. Actually, scrap that one, because that one won't make any sense. I'll have to wait for it to kind of come in. And also play around with different densities as well. So we've got the Southwest high density here. Ooh. No, I don't really have the demand here for that. I'll try and fast forward. It's medium density when we've got the demand. So, is that going to be too high? I think that might be okay. Let's go for some medium density away from this. Let's create like a medium density area, maybe here as well. And if I ran like that, that will go into there. I know it creates like a bunch of junctions, but we're okay. There isn't really any issue. So we'll do it like there, and we'll spend... Oh, hello. We'll spend our medium density demand just here. So where did that medium density go, by the way? Southwest medium density houses. We'll go there. Let's see what comes of this anyway. Bam. And then we'll do maybe... No, I don't want the north ones. I got to remember not to do the north ones because I've got a certain design that I'm going for. And I'm trying my best to stick to it. Trying my best, boys. I do a 3. Then there. Right, let them build up just there for a minute. As we've got that high density demand coming back in. So go the southwest style again. We'll do a nice chunky boy there. Chunky. Can I do a 2 there? Yes. Alright, just playing around with a few different items here. Alright, we'll go there. And there. I think that spends the demand again. So I got to ease up a little bit. I got to ease up a little bit with it all. But this area is going to look really good. It is going to look really good. Once we're all finished anyway. Right. Car park. We'll try and get one in here as well. And we'll go with... What did this one provide again? Where is it? This one here. That one seemed to be pretty sweet. 42. And that provided quite a lot. But I don't mind that one. That kind of fits in nicely. But I think we might need multiple car parks in this facility. But I might squeeze you in. It takes up 4. Does it? Or is it 3? It takes up 3, sorry. How do I rotate without it rotating? See, that would go really nice just here. So I'm going to drop it there instead. And I'll throw one in. Oh, one just there. Okay, so we've got 2 in total. And we'll see how we get on with the rest of it. In terms of now the zoning, so... That's all going to go in here. So get all that in just there. I've gone for a big boy there. I might regret that. Might regret that. And let me now just finish all this area up. So I've gone quite big here. But I think we'll get away with it. So let me go back to low density now. Not low density, low rent, sorry. And then just finalize a lot of this stuff. Fasty forward. Fasty forward right now. Yeah, it's the right height. It is the right height we're going with. And then we'll get all our trees in. And then we'll just reevaluate at that point what's going on. So there's going to be a lot of people moving in. So I've got to now let the traffic do what it's got to do. There's going to be a lot of people coming in right now. So as those demands slowly creeping back. And then I can just finish all this off. There's going to be no overzoning anywhere else. So we go a little bit crazy. Not too crazy, obviously, but I can then get all the trees in. Little gaps in the buildings there. Not too shabby. We do a couple just there. Alright, there we go. So just do the obvious spots first. Ooh, not enough power. Alright, we'll sort that in just a second. So obvious spots first, and then spots that are not as obvious. And I've got to wait for all this to kind of build up anyway. So, we got power issues. It is literally down to the wind turbines. I know I said I'm probably not going to build any more wind turbines, but I reckon one more. One more, and then we will need to look at alternative methods. So, I'm going to put that right here. I need to add all the upgrades onto it. And then, for the power situation, so it's all happening underground. That should give us exactly what we need for now, which I don't think it's still going to be enough. Apparently it is. I think the battery charge is kind of helping us all out. Oh, I don't like how we've got too many of these type of buildings. This was the Southwest style one. Okay, so if I delete you, delete you, delete you, delete you, and delete you... delete you. I've got too many of that one design. I don't like having too many of that one design. We'll go back to low rent. So, bam, bam. Oh no, don't put all these in, boys. Alright, hopefully it rebuilds a little bit differently with those buildings. Right, so... that finishes this area nice. We've now built up over there as well, which will provide a lot of residents. We've pushed ourselves over the 10,000 mark now at the same time. And all that commercial that we're still waiting to kind of grow in has slowly been filling all the little gaps. Now, do we take a look at maybe expanding the ability for them to park on the side of the street? They've pretty much filled the car parks already. Which is not too shabby. Not too shabby, but we will need to provide more parking facilities. It'll be something that will always be constantly battling. So the multi-level building, that worked really well over there. So maybe opposite or near the hospital's a good shout. So if I implemented it here, big multi-story, right next to the hospital. Not a bad idea, is it? Not a bad idea. And it's in a walkable distance for everybody. And eventually that will be all filled in as well. Right. That's just the downtown area. It's just multi-story car parks after multi-story car parks. Alright, pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. They're also now parking over there too. So things are working out. So, yeah, we've got to sort out public transport. It is a huge thing, and what we need to do is we need to make it really accessible for them to get to the train stations. So it's all great and you know that we've got the train line in, but if they're up here and they want to get to over here, it's them getting to the train station, and then once they're on it, it's them getting from there to go to over there. So we need to set up local bus routes that are going to take advantage of the continued journey after the train station or the train line journey that they've then particularly made. But as of that, we are now officially making profit. So that is pretty good. It's really good. Yeah. I'm excited to see how this is all going to pretty much go. Yes. Excellent. Excellent. So what is the public transportation like at the moment? So we do have a bus route in, which they are using it. We've got a lot of taxis driving around as well. We don't really have any of our own private taxis in Woodville at the minute. The train line is getting used quite a bit as well. You know, it's all there. It's all there to be used. They are using it. We just got to discourage them a little bit from using their own vehicles. Which, if I can afford it, do you reckon setting it to free public transport would be the way to go? That would really encourage people to use public transport, but obviously it will cost me a lot of money then by not selling tickets. Now, to what level is that going to affect me? Well, when you kind of look at it, I'm only getting 26, well, I was getting 26 back in fees. 26 grand, 19 grand now. So it's something that maybe we could afford to do is, 40 grand, okay. Okay, I suppose it depends, right? It all depends. But maybe we could look at setting it to free public transportation to discourage them from utilizing their own vehicles. Providing we have the network for it. Providing we do set up the network for it. To kind of make it as connectable as we possibly can. Could be the way to go forward. It honestly could be the way to go forward. But as of right now, not too shabby. Now, we've still got quite a bit of office demand. We've still got a little bit of industrial demand, which this is what we set up last episode. So we've got the little kind of buildings now in. So you could go a little bit crazier. So if I turn off anarchy and do a brush size, you could fit in the little nooks and crannies a few more trees. It does create a fire risk and a fire hazard. So you kind of also need to be a little bit careful on that kind of side of it. But if I just drop in the odd little tree right now around the industry, that I think would be pretty nice addition. I like the trees, like, you know, at the front of the buildings as well. I think it adds a little bit more detail to it. But you don't want to go too over the top, because it is a huge fire risk. Having these combustible factories in basically a forest area. It's not the best, is it? It's not going to be the best. But I think we might end it here then, guys. So we've made some progress. The main thing I'm really happy about right now is the fact that we've managed to turn a profit, and then we're now losing money. But there was a brief moment there where we were consistently making some sweet, cold, hard cash. And it is possible to kind of keep on doing. I don't know what's now just come out of nowhere that's now costing us an absolute fortune. Is it the healthcare? It can't be the healthcare, can it? I don't think so. We got a little bit of surplus money with the fees and all that kind of jazz with the exporting. Okay, actually, nothing's being exported. So do you think it's wise for us to start maybe exporting some power? Same with the sewage and water. That'll be a way to earn extra revenue, wouldn't it? It really would. Yeah, something's just come out of nowhere. I'm not quite sure where that money is that we've just all of a sudden started to lose quite a bit of cash. It could be the additional strain that they're putting on all of our stuff. So how is this hospital now doing? It's got a few vehicles there, but we probably also need to start looking at maybe setting services for their districts. That's going to be another way in which we can kind of hopefully control what is going on. That's hopefully what we can control, what's going to be going on then. We can really see which areas are overserved, underserved. Oh my goodness me, what's happened over here, boys? That's a fatal industry right now where vehicles are ending up in the water. Right, if you don't ask, you don't know. And right now, I don't know what's happened. And do I want to know? Probably not. What a terrible mayor. What a terrible mayor. So do those buildings break it up slightly? It did, yeah. I mean, it looks quite a lot of them, so I've got to be a bit careful moving forward, but it still works out fairly well. We've got a lot we still need to implement, but I need to kind of slightly control it a little bit, because if you know, not too careful, you'll find out you've got a lot of people living here. So more people live in this area than anywhere, than outside of that area. Wow. So more people live in the current placeholder name Meadowcrest than outside of Meadowcrest. So we've got to be a little bit careful. Right, next episode, public transport, boys. We need to get that solved just to make sure that we are 100%, boys, not going to have as bad as the traffic as we're currently seeing. It's okay. It's not terrible, it flows, but with them also having to cross the road, that's an issue as well. Them crossing the road, I've got to make some crossroads or some walkways or some underpasses to get them over here, so they don't rely on going over the roundabout to keep the traffic free. That's not happening here, is it? No, there shouldn't be anyone over here right now because it's all highway road. It's just having maybe some dedicated turns would be a great thing for us. If they could fly over there, that would solve a lot of pain and torture as well. Right, anyway. I'm yapping again. Yappy Yak is back. Yappy Yak is back. But yes, It's them all going to work and then coming home from work, which is an issue. So next episode, we're investing in public transportation. Until next time, I'll see you all soon. So goodbye.